Welcome, deep divers. Ever had those moments where it feels like you're constantly battling the world, only to realize the real struggle is happening inside your own head?
Oh, absolutely. That feeling.
That feeling of emotions just sweeping you away, leading you to say something you regret, or maybe losing your cool when you swore you wouldn't.
Yeah.
It's that internal tug of war,
Yeah.
where your control seems to just vanish,
Mm-hmm.
slip through your fingers.
Mm-hmm. Happens to everyone, I think.
Well, today we're taking a deep dive into something really powerful: mastering your inner control. We're drawing our insights from the unshaken self, mastering inner control,
Right.
a source that promises to be, well, maybe a shortcut to a calmer, more powerful you,
Yeah.
helping us navigate those often turbulent internal landscapes.
Indeed. And what's interesting is that this isn't about, suppressing your authentic self or becoming robotic.
No, not at all.
It's more about consciously owning your responses to life. It's fascinating how the text lays out such a clear, actionable path to reclaiming personal power from the grip of those fleeting emotions. It offers a really profound sense of self-possession, I think, and resilience.
Okay, so our mission for this deep dive, then, is to unpack the core principles from this source.
Let's do it.
We'll explore how emotions, which are totally natural, right, how they can either empower us or, well, undermine us, and then discover practical ways to build what the author calls an unshakable inner fortress. So get ready for some genuine insights, maybe some aha moments, because we're about to uncover why, as the source suggests, the one who masters silence masters life.
That's a powerful claim. Let's see where it leads.
Okay, let's start with this foundational idea from the source. It says, life's toughest tests don't come from the storms outside, but from the battles within.
That immediately shifts the focus, doesn't it?
It really does. It's not just a clever phrase. It feels like a reorientation.
Right.
It suggests that a lot of the chaos, the frustration, maybe the disappointment we feel, it doesn't just stem from external events,
Right. Not just the outside world.
but from our internal processing, our immediate, often automatic reaction to those events.
So the real struggle then is often with our own emotional responses, more than the unpredictable world itself.
That seems to be the core argument here, yeah. The internal battle.
Yeah.
And the consequences of this kind of unchecked reactivity are, well, pretty profound. The source gives a crucial warning. Not every feeling deserves a reaction. And just as importantly, not every feeling carries truth.
Okay, that's interesting. We often assume if we feel something strongly, it must be true, or at least demand action.
Exactly. But the text frames this as a trap. Reacting to absolutely everything leaves you feeling empty, vulnerable, ultimately directionless.
Like you're just being pulled around by circumstance.
Yeah, think about the energy drained when you're constantly responding to every little slight, every irritation. It's like the source doesn't use this exact analogy, but it feels like endlessly bailing water from a leaky boat without patching the hole.
Right, you're working hard, but getting nowhere.
You're expending immense energy, making no real progress. And the source gives stark examples. Think of times anger led to words you couldn't take back,
Oh, yeah.
or moments of weakness, maybe, that shattered years of trust. This, it says, is the price of living without control.
And we've all been there, haven't we? Those impulsive decisions, those hurtful words. Once they're out, they're out.
Irreversible, leaving lasting scars on relationships, careers, even just how we see ourselves.
This brings up a critical point, though. If reactions can feel so, good in the moment, that immediate release, right? That fleeting sense of justice or catharsis.
That rush.
Why are they so costly in the long run? The source seems to highlight a powerful contrast here: immediate gratification versus long-term strength.
Okay.
That momentary outburst might feel like relief, but it almost invariably leads to regret down the line. It's the fallout, isn't it?
Yeah, the damage.
The damaged relationships, the lost opportunities, or just that gnawing feeling that you compromised your own values.
So what's the alternative?
Well, the alternative, as presented in the text, is restraint. Now, restraint can initially feel heavy. It demands conscious effort. It often goes against our immediate impulses.
It's harder in the moment, for sure.
Definitely harder. But it's precisely what builds strength, respect, and authority over time. It's like a weight you choose to bear in the short term for immense lasting gains.
Okay.
And this leads us to the text's definition of true power. It says, the individual who can remain calm in silence while emotions are surging within, that person holds true power.
Not suppressing, but not being ruled by them.
Exactly. It's not about being unfeeling, it's about not being controlled by those feelings. And crucially, this power, the source clarifies, isn't power over others.
Oh.
It's power over themselves. This self-mastery, it emphatically states, is the greatest victory anyone can achieve.
Wow. So it elevates self-control above, like, external success or dominance.
Precisely. Above conquest or material success. The inner victory is the ultimate one.
So understanding that, how does the source want us to view our emotions themselves? Are they just bad?
No, not at all. It clarifies that emotions aren't the enemy. We shouldn't try to eradicate them.
All right.
Instead, they're described as signals, guides, indicators of our internal state. They serve a vital purpose, giving us information.
Like, anger might signal a boundary crossed.
Exactly. Or fear, maybe an uncertainty ahead. Sadness might point to what we truly value. They're data points.
There's a but.
There's a crucial distinction, yes. The source stresses they were never meant to be your master. They're powerful, informative tools, absolutely, but they are not chains. The danger lies in surrendering complete control to them.
Because then we lose.
Our peace, our clarity, our ability to make deliberate decisions, we sacrifice those to the fleeting whims of the emotion.
It's like trying to steer a ship in a storm, using only the waves as your guide.
That's a great analogy. Unchecked emotions can do precisely that to our lives, lead us off course, into conflict, or down paths we ultimately regret. They're there to inform, not to dictate our destiny.
Okay, so that understanding leads us directly then to the concept of discipline. The text frames it as this crucial separator. It says discipline is what separates those who are controlled by life from those who control it. That's quite a statement.
It is. It positions discipline as the core mechanism, the thing that shifts us from being passive passengers.
Yeah, just reacting to everything.
At the mercy of every external provocation or internal surge, to being the conscious driver, steering with purpose, with intention.
And the source defines discipline not as, like you said, suppression, not pretending emotions don't exist.
Right. It's not about becoming an unfeeling robot. That's a common misconception.
So what is it then?
It's about creating space between what you feel and how you respond. That space is key.
Okay, explain that space.
It's like a deliberate pause, a moment to breathe, a conscious intervention that happens between the initial stimulus disparity, the feeling, the trigger, and your subsequent reaction.
And within that space.
That's where the transformation occurs. The text says wisdom and power reside in that space. It's the moment where you can choose, truly choose how you want to show up instead of just being a puppet to your immediate emotional state.
So cultivating this space has a huge impact.
Immense. The stronger your discipline, the source argues, the more you can choose actions aligned with your deepest values, your long-term vision.
Rather than just the heat of the moment stuff.
Exactly. Rather than being swayed by the fleeting heat of the moment. For instance, maybe your values include patience and respect.
Okay.
Without discipline, anger might just make you shout, right? Completely contradicting those values.
Yeah, happens easily.
But with discipline, you create that pause. You acknowledge the anger, sure, but then you choose a response that actually reflects who you aspire to be. This consistency builds integrity and a really profound sense of inner alignment.
If we connect this to the bigger picture, that concept of space feels absolutely fundamental to self-mastery.
It really is. It's the very mechanism of conscious choice. It shifts us from being these reactive victims of our emotions to becoming active architects of our responses. Without that space, we're just operating on instinct, on autopilot. With it, we engage our higher faculties, our reason, our intention, our foresight.
Does the source give an example of this?
It does, a very clear scenario. Imagine two people face the same insult.
Okay.
One explodes, loses dignity, maybe shouts back, and actually empowers the person who insulted them. Their energy is scattered, their composure shattered.
We've all seen that happen. Or done it.
For sure. The other person, however, stays calm, steady. They refuse to waste energy on the provocation. They don't engage.
I use that space.
They use that space. And the text then poses a powerful question. Who holds the power? It emphatically states, it's never the one who reacts, it's always the one who controls. This vividly illustrates the immediate, tangible benefit of discipline.
It's not just an internal feeling then.
No, it's an observable shift in power dynamics. The one who controls their response, retains their dignity, conserves their energy, and basically disarms the provoker by denying them the fuel of a reaction.
That's a huge difference.
A profound difference, created by discipline, in real-time interactions, and in long-term emotional resilience.
So emotional discipline isn't about being unfeeling or bottling things up. Not at all.
No.
It's about making deliberate, conscious choices that honor your higher self. Choosing wisdom over impulse, essentially, every single time.
And that, as the source makes clear, is where true power resides.
Okay, this naturally leads us to a really fascinating concept in the source. How unchecked emotions can literally, well, destroy you. And the profound strength found in silence.
Right, the power of not reacting.
Yeah, the source asserts life's true strength isn't found in how loudly you react, but in how deeply you can control yourself.
That's a powerful reframing of strength. Not outward force, but deep inner mastery.
Exactly. And it underscores the cost of no control with a stark truth. Emotions are fleeting, but consequences last.
That really lands, doesn't it? Intense anger, burning frustration, fear, these feelings, they do pass.
They do, but the words they provoke, the actions they drive, the decisions they influence.
Those stick around. They have ripple effects that can span years.
Absolutely. The source says a few seconds of discipline, that conscious pause we talked about, can literally save you years of regret.
Wow.
A moment of silence can protect priceless relationships, preserve crucial opportunities, and fundamentally strengthen your character. It's that powerful.
And it also highlights the internal proof you gain, right? Every time you choose not to react,
Yeah.
you prove to yourself that you are in control. Not your anger, not your fear, not your pride.
It's like a feedback loop.
Exactly. It's practical, repeatable self-validation. The source compares it to building a muscle. The more you practice restraint, the stronger your self-control gets.
Reinforcing that internal locus of control, building confidence in your self-regulation.
It's crucial here, though, to distinguish between controlling the world and controlling ourselves. The source makes this crystal clear.
Okay.
We cannot control external events. People will disappoint us, sometimes disrespect us. Life will bring loss and frustration. These external factors are largely beyond our reach.
We can't stop the rain.
Precisely. But discipline, the text emphasizes, ensures that no matter what comes, you remain in command of yourself. And this is presented as true freedom.
Not freedom from difficulty, but freedom in difficulty.
Exactly. The profound freedom that comes from mastering your response to whatever life throws your way rather than being enslaved by it.
This leads to the idea of strategic non-reaction, doesn't it?
Yes, not every emotion deserves an immediate response. Not every battle needs to be fought.
Some things are just noise.
Some triggers are meant to be ignored, the source suggests. Some are lessons in patience. This isn't passive surrender, it's an active, strategic choice.
How is it strategic?
Because when you stop reacting to every disturbance, every irritant, every provocation, you reclaim precious resources, your time, your focus, your energy.
Instead of being tossed around.
By external stimuli and internal emotional surges, you become the anchor in the storm. This is presented as genuine strength, the kind people respect, the kind that truly carries you forward, allowing you to maintain your course toward your goals without constant diversion.
And this is where silence becomes such a central, incredibly powerful theme.
Yes. The source describes silence as a weapon, a shield, and even a crown.
Wow. Not just absence of sound.
Not at all. It's the intentional absence of impulsive reactive noise. Silence is often the loudest form of strength, the text states.
That seems counterintuitive.
It can feel that way, but it continues. It doesn't mean weakness. It means restraint. It means wisdom. It's about knowing when to speak, and maybe even more profoundly, when to let your calm presence speak for itself.
In a world that's so loud.
Exactly. In a world clamoring for attention, the one who can hold still, observe, and stay calm often holds the real authority.
So how does silence work as such a potent force?
Well, first, it communicates composure, discipline, power. When others are agitated or shouting, your calm silence projects an unshakable inner core. It's immediately noticeable.
Okay. What else?
Second, it forces others to confront their own intentions. When they can't feed off your reactive energy because you're not giving it to them, they're left with their own noise, their own agitation, and that can be profoundly disarming.
And third?
Unlike arguments or twisted words, silence is untouchable. You can't misquote it. You can't distort its meaning. It simply is.
So choosing silence isn't avoiding conflict necessarily.
No, the source frames it as self-mastery. It's protecting your energy, conserving your strength, and wisely choosing what's truly worth your voice. It's an act of profound self-respect.
The text mentions thinking about times silence spoke louder, like walking away from an argument you could have won but chose peace instead.
Right. Or ignoring an insult, letting that negativity just hang there, reflecting back on the sender. They end up looking foolish while you remain unperturbed.
That's the power of emotional control in action.
Precisely. As the source concludes, silence and discipline will always protect you, while unchecked emotions will destroy you. A stark warning, but a powerful motivator.
Okay, now this next concept,
Mm.
it's often misunderstood, isn't it? Detachment.
Very often, people immediately think coldness, indifference, not caring.
Right. But the source frames it completely differently, as a pinnacle of inner control.
It does. It immediately redefines it. It says detachment is not coldness or weakness. Instead, it is mastery.
Mastery.
Yes, the ability to rise above chaos without it dictating your actions. It's a sophisticated form of control, not over others, remember, but over your own internal landscape.
Can you give an example?
The text paints a picture. Imagine standing calm in a noisy, chaotic room, refusing to get drawn into arguments, letting your composure be an anchor, both for yourself and maybe even for others around you.
Okay, I can picture that.
This, it asserts, is not weakness. This is strength. It's proof that your worth is not measured by how loudly you defend yourself, but by how deeply you rule yourself.
Wow. So it's about internal security, not external validation.
Exactly. Being so secure in your own inner peace that external turmoil simply cannot breach your calm.
And connecting this to the bigger picture, silence becomes the very foundation of detachment, right?
That's the link the source makes. Silence grants you that crucial space, there's that word again, to observe instead of just reacting. When you cultivate silence, you don't just hear words anymore. You start to hear intentions, you see patterns, you notice underlying truths, maybe emotions that others miss in their rush to speak or react.
It sharpens your awareness.
Immensely. And that awareness provided by the quiet space of detachment gives you the clarity to make much better decisions. It's like having a refined filter for all the incoming noise, allowing you to discern what truly matters.
The source mentions historical figures understanding this.
Yes, it notes that history's greatest leaders and thinkers often understood this well. They used silence strategically, not as a shield born of fear, but as a weapon born of strength.
How so?
They know that sometimes the most powerful response is no response at all. This insight profoundly reframes our typical understanding of power.
Because we usually associate power with loudness, dominance.
We often do, yes. Shouting louder, proving a point, winning the argument. But true power, as the text reveals, doesn't need to prove anything. When you are truly secure in yourself, when you know your inherent value, you don't feel that constant need to argue, explain, or convince others. Your silence in this context becomes your confidence.
It signals something different.
It signals that you are guided not by external noise and the need for validation, but by a profound inner peace and self-assurance. Often, the calmest presence, not the loudest voice, commands the most genuine respect.
So detachment, then, is ultimately about purposeful energy management.
That's a great way to put it. The source clarifies it's not about ignoring life. It's about choosing wisely what deserves your energy.
Okay.
Refusing to waste yourself on meaningless battles, on external dramas that don't serve your higher purpose. When you consciously choose to hold your tongue, you hold your power. When you choose to stay calm amidst chaos, you remain unshaken.
And this leads to what the source calls the ultimate command.
Yes, you cannot lead your life if you cannot rule your emotions.
That connects inner control directly to life direction.
Absolutely. Emotions are the fuel behind every decision, and decisions shape your destiny. If anger, fear, envy, or frustration rule you, then your life is ruled by impulse instead of purpose.
That's a powerful link.
It is, and the source highlights the devastating consequences. Relationships destroyed by words spoken in anger, opportunities lost because fear made someone hesitate, peace poisoned by jealousy, rewards stolen by impatience.
Creating these cycles of regret.
Exactly. Patterns that prevent us from achieving the peace and progress we actually seek.
So the big question, how do we do this? How do we master this internal battlefield?
Well, the source is very clear again that detachment is not suppression. It's not pretending you don't feel anything.
Crucial distinction.
Very. Instead, it is understanding what you feel, acknowledging it, and then choosing wisely how to respond. It's not about being numb, it's about being discerning and intentional.
So emotions are signals.
Signals, not commands, meant to guide you, not control you. Detachment, in this sense, provides the necessary space that pause to step back, see clearly, and act with intention instead of just reacting on impulse.
And the outcome.
The outcome, as beautifully put in the source, is that ruling your emotions equates to ruling yourself. And when you rule yourself,
Then nothing external can rule you.
precisely, no one, not anger, not fear, not chaos, can truly rule you. This is presented as both strength and freedom, an internal emancipation, a declaration of sovereignty over your own inner world, regardless of what's happening outside.
Okay, let's dive deeper into the practical side. How do we actually apply this inner discipline and detachment day to day?
Right, the how-to.
The source reiterates that core truth. Emotions like anger, fear, sadness, they are signals, invaluable guides even. But none are meant to enslave us.
They show you where a boundary was crossed, maybe, or signal uncertainty, or highlight what you value, but they aren't the boss.
So where is true strength found then?
The text says it's found in pausing, breathing, and choosing a response that aligns with your higher purpose instead of your temporary state of mind.
That pause again, it seems central.
It is. It's not always easy, requires conscious effort, but it's where the real transformation begins. By creating that moment of pause, you gain clarity.
Your judgment isn't clouded by impulse.
Exactly. Or destructive urges. This allows you to make decisions that serve your long-term vision, not just short-term gratification or relief. Imagine a life where your decisions consistently line up with your deepest goals.
Instead of being constantly derailed by fleeting frustrations or temptations.
Precisely. That's the power of it. And this clarity, this ability to respond intentionally, is what profoundly distinguishes true leaders, according to the source.
How so?
It observes. Leaders remain calm when others panic. They stay focused when others drift. They keep moving forward when others give up. And the foundation of that unwavering strength,
Emotional discipline.
emotional discipline. It's not innate, it's cultivated. The text even breaks down how discipline builds specific virtues.
Oh, yeah. What?
Patience is born from mastering frustration. Consistency comes from mastering laziness and excuses. Resilience emerges from mastering fear and doubt. It's a continuous, deliberate process of self-refinement.
That makes sense. If we connect this to the bigger picture, then without emotional discipline, we're basically sabotaging ourselves constantly, aren't we?
We really are. Becoming our own worst enemies, tripping ourselves up with every emotional surge. But when you learn to pause before reacting, to think before speaking, to act with intention rather than impulse, the source says you literally take control of your destiny.
That sounds huge.
It's not hyperbole based on this framework. It's presented as a direct consequence of self-mastery.
The source paints a picture of this freedom.
It does, quite vividly. Imagine being provoked with insults, yet remaining unbothered. That, it says, is power. Imagine feeling fear, yet moving forward with courage anyway. That is freedom. Imagine experiencing sadness, deep sadness even, yet refusing to be broken by it. That is strength.
Those challenges become opportunities to practice.
Exactly. Life will always test your emotions, but every challenge becomes an opportunity to rule yourself. Leadership, it argues, begins with this emotional mastery. Rule your anger before it ruins you. Rule your fear before it limits you. Rule your envy before it blinds you. Rule your impatience before it steals your opportunities.
And once you rule yourself.
Then, the text states emphatically, no external force can shake your direction. You become an unmovable force guided from within.
Okay, let's circle back to detachment specifically and those misconceptions. People think it's cold, shutting off the heart.
Right, that common mistake. But the source makes it unequivocally clear. Detachment is not about shutting off your heart. It's about protecting it.
Protecting it from what?
From being pulled in every direction by the moods, manipulations, or opinions of others. It's a crucial act of self-preservation. It keeps your inner core intact.
So detachment is actually clarity.
Yes. It allows you to see things as they are without being blinded by desperation or fear or neediness. And more than anything, the text argues, detachment is self-respect.
How is it self-respect?
It's like saying, my peace, my values, my direction matter too much to be sacrificed just to please someone else or chase external validation or avoid temporary discomfort. It's a declaration of your own inherent worth.
The source highlights a common pitfall here, doesn't it? Unhealthy attachments.
It does. Many people lose themselves clinging to draining relationships, suffocating jobs, weakening habits, painful situations. They often mistake this holding on for love or loyalty or strength.
But it's actually...
Most of the time, the text reveals it's just fear. Fear of being alone, fear of starting over, fear of not being enough. Detachment, by confronting and dismantling these clinging fears, actually destroys that fear.
So letting go isn't loss.
It teaches you that letting go is not loss, it is freedom. It's not an end. It's the beginning of finding yourself again, a necessary step towards wholeness.
Okay, but you still feel things deeply with detachment.
Absolutely. That's a fascinating distinction the Source makes. You're not becoming numb. Those feelings don't control you, but you feel them.
It describes this as a balanced engagement.
Balanced engagement. Like what?
Like you can love someone deeply, but you won't accept disrespect. You might desire success intensely, but you won't trade your integrity for it. You can care profoundly about people, but you won't destroy yourself trying to fix what isn't yours to fix.
Maintaining boundaries in self even with strong emotions.
Exactly. This balance allows for full engagement in life without being enslaved by uncontrollable outcomes.
Yeah.
And when your emotions no longer cloud your judgment, your vision sharpens.
You begin to see clearly. Empty promises reveal themselves for what they are. Words without actions lose their power over you. The distractions that once held you captive become obvious. You gain this profound sense of discernment.
And
This, the Source concludes, is the gift of mastering inner discipline and ultimately the freedom of detachment. It's presented as a powerful and profoundly liberating state of being.
Well, let's shift now to how awareness and truth become our anchors in all this. The Source opens this section saying, awareness is the first step to reclaiming your power.
Right. Awareness first.
It makes you intentional, deliberate, and ultimately free. Without awareness, we're just running on autopilot, aren't we?
Driven by unconscious impulses, ingrained patterns. Yeah.
But by becoming aware of our emotional states, our triggers, our typical reactions, we open the door to conscious choice. We can actually see what's happening inside.
But this deeper awareness and the detachment it enables, it requires courage, doesn't it?
The text is very clear on that. It takes strength, it says, to walk away from people you love, but who are maybe toxic to your spirit.
That's hard.
Very hard. It takes courage to say no when everyone expects you to say yes.
Yeah.
And maturity to accept that not everything and not everyone is meant to stay in your life forever.
These aren't easy choices. They often run counter to societal expectations or our own deep desires to please or hold on.
Definitely. But detachment, the Source emphasizes, does not harden you. It hears you.
Heals. How?
Letting go in this framework can be an act of profound love. Love for yourself, first and foremost, and sometimes even love for the other person, because clinging often just creates more pain for everyone involved.
That's a really different perspective on letting go. Not failure, but healing.
Yeah.
And love.
Yeah. And connecting this to the bigger picture, this detachment fosters profound self-respect.
How does that work?
Well, with detachment comes this deeply rooted sense of internal validation. You stop begging for attention because you know your worth. You stop chasing external validation because you trust yourself. You stop fearing loss quite so much because you understand that what is truly aligned with you won't require you to lose yourself to keep it.
That understanding sounds incredibly liberating.
It really does. Detachment reminds you, the Source says, that you are whole with or without anyone's approval, with or without any specific outcome.
That's powerful. Wholeness isn't dependent on externals.
Exactly. And when you live detached, you walk lighter. That weight of worry, fear, doubt, it doesn't chain you in the same way. You allow people to be who they are, and you allow life to unfold as it will.
So less forcing, clinging, controlling.
Much less. Instead, you flow. And this isn't coldness, the Source insists again. It's wisdom.
Wisdom.
Because wisdom knows that peace is found not in holding tightly, but in letting go gracefully. It's balance, protection of self, clarity, real strength.
Okay, but here's the bedrock truth underpinning all of this, according to the Source. Feelings, as powerful as they are, they're not always reliable guides.
Not reliable. That's a big statement.
It is. They rise and fall like waves, right? Shifting with circumstances, moods, perceptions. One day you feel unstoppable, the next completely unworthy.
Yeah, that roller coaster.
One moment filled with trust, the next buried in doubt. If you build your entire life only on feelings, the Source argues, you are building on sand.